A statue of the former world champion boxer Rinty Monahan has been unveiled. Monahan was the first boxer from Belfast to win a world title, becoming flyweight champion in 1948. The 10-foot high sculpture, which is cast in bronze, has been erected in Cathedral Gardens in the city centre, close to where he grew up. Natalie Lindo was there.
One of Northern Ireland's sporting legends. Rinty Monahan was the first boxer from the city to win a world title. Today he was honoured just metres from where he grew up. The former world champion's family proudly watched as a 10-foot sculpture cast in bronze was unveiled.
He was champion when legends like Joe Louis and Sugar Ray Robinson were champions. I mean, that speaks for itself. God smiled on us today, and Rinty smiled on us. Just wonderful for it to come to fruition. We've been on a process this last 5-6 years, so we're just absolutely delighted.
Born in 1918, John Joseph Monahan was given the childhood nickname Rinty. At 30, he became the world flyweight champion. He grew up and trained in Belfast's York Street area. He was famous for singing "When Irish Eyes Are Smiling" after his fights. He's inspired generations of boxers from the city.
When Rinty was the world champion, there only was one, and everyone knew him. A proper character, and I think not only that, but I think not only me, but the whole of Belfast kind of owes something back to boxing and people like Rinty for doing so much for the community, and it's a great turnout here today as well.
The sculpture captures Rinty singing after a bout. It's one of 3 funded by Belfast City Council to celebrate the contribution the sport has made to the city.
It captures the essence of the man. You know, as I say, he wasn't just a fighter, he was an entertainer, and he loved to make people happy. You know, and I think Rinty certainly did that, and it's terrific that Belfast have honoured him in this way.
Boxing fans will have plenty to smile about today as their first local hero receives this civic honour. Natalie Lindo, BBC Newsline, Belfast.
Well, more than 100 family, friends and fans of the late boxing champion Rinty Monahan were on York Street in Belfast this morning for the unveiling of a statue in his honour. And as Paul Riley reports, plenty of eyes were smiling.
He was the Belfast boxer who charmed the world. John Rinty Monahan, a flyweight champion, a local hero, and today recognition from his home city with this statue.
It just means the world. This is something we've been fighting for a long, long time, and we think he would certainly do it, and it finally came to fruition.
He would have been just sitting on that stand smiling and looking at everybody because he had a lovely smile, and that's what I always remember him by, smiling. He really was a very nice person.
A natural entertainer, Rinty's boxing career was cut short, but his achievements speak for themselves.
Rinty was champion when legends like Joe Louis and Sugar Ray Robinson held their belts, so you know that says it all. He also has the distinction of being the only home-based, undisputed champion ever to come out of Ireland. And he held 6 belts: Northern Ireland champion, Irish champion, British champion, Empire champion, European champion, and undisputed, undefeated world champion.
For his daughters, it was an emotional day.
He was born across the street, just down there, 1918. And then when he got married, he moved over this side of the street, in Little Corporation Street, and he died.
Corner.
He died there in 1984. He never left the area, never left it. He would have been up and down the street. Everybody knew him, and it's just about the perfect spot for him.
Legends of the sport were there to remember Rinty, who died more than 30 years ago.
Great fighter and a great entertainer. It's fitting that they have this big day for him. I'm very, very pleased.
And of course, today's boxing elite showed their respect.
It means a lot to be here. I think not only I owe him something, but I think the whole of Belfast as well. Boxing's brought communities together for a long, long time, and Rinty started it off.
The City Council is planning more statues of local boxing greats.
The next one will be in Dunville Park, and that's going to be for John Caldwell, and then there will also be one in Woodvale Park, and that's going to be a more generic statue to recognise a number of boxers that emerged from the Shankill area of the city as well. So I think it's a fantastic project for the city to do, recognising some of our sporting heroes.
Coincidentally, tomorrow would have been Rinty's 97th birthday. He may have only stood at 5 foot 3 inches tall, but this statue now cements his place as a boxing giant. Paul Riley, UTV Live, Belfast City Centre.
Irish eyes are.
As a character, I remember Rinty coming up to my uncle Sean McAuley's club in Monaghan in 1981. I would have been 15 then. And all he asked for was a packet of cigarettes. And during the interval of the fights, he got in the ring, he'd done his song and dance act, done his Papa and Olive Oil impressions, and played the harmonica. He brought the house down. The problem was getting him back out of the ring, so as the fights could resume. That took some time. As a boxer, Rinty lived in a bygone age where the ordinary guy in the street could have named the 8 world champions in the respective weight divisions. He was champion when Joe Lewis and Sugar Ray Robinson. When legends held their belts, that's when Rinty held his belt. He held 6 titles. He was Northern Ireland champion, he was Irish champion, he was British champion, he was Empire champion, he was European champion, and he was undefeated, undisputed world flyweight champion. What this means to the family today is just unbelievable. We just know now he's going to be remembered now for a long, long time. Long after we're all gone, his legend's going to live on. People are going to remember Rinty Monahan, the man and the legend. Also want to say something that my Aunt Martha said when the blue plaque was unveiled 7 or 8 years ago up in the King's Hall, when she was talking to the television cameras. She said he wasn't just a world champion boxer, he was a world champion father. I was going to say, if I could ask for a minute's quietness here, not a minute's silence, a minute's quietness, I only want to hear one voice.
Everything was in readiness for the start of the world's flyweight title match between Rinty Monahan of Belfast and Jackie Patterson, the defending champion from Glasgow. Patterson's going to beat the count. He just manages to get up in the count of 9. He staggers to his feet. He's in trouble. Monahan rushes in for the kill. He measures his man carefully. Pummels him about the head and body to the ropes. Vicious right hook to the jaw. Now an uppercut. Now a left and a right uppercut to the body. And Patterson gets set to go down with a right to the jaw. Out. And there's a new world's flyweight title holder, Rinty Monahan of Belfast, who is immediately mobbed by his handlers in the ring. People stand up and cheer themselves wild at King's Hall.
We're here in Cathedral Gardens and we're unveiling the statue of John Rinty Monahan, flyweight champion. He won the championship in 1948.
Rinty lived but a stone's throw away from here. He was world champion in the days, bygone days, when the ordinary guy on the street could have told you who the 8 world boxing champions were in their respective divisions. He had got himself into a position where he could earn big money, but his health let him down. He was a very ordinary man. He was a lorry driver, taxi driver, good billiards player, and at the end of his life he worked in a Shamrock garage as a petrol pump attendant. And some people think that's ignominious, but Rinty was Rinty loved being outdoors and talking to all the customers. And the guy who owned the Shamrock garage, Phil Moley, said that Rinty brought him in a fortune, because many people came not just to get petrol, but to beat Rinty and get a photograph for Rinty. So it was a marriage made in heaven. But he means everything to Belfast, because he was a working class lad who put Belfast on the map in sporting terms.
The Belfast boxing ring have promoted this particular project, along with Rinty's brother, Tommy, and his nephew, Eamon McAuley, who himself was a professional boxer. And they were very keen to see something done to remember the great Rinty Monahan. So it was a great pleasure for me as a sculptor to be, first of all, to be commissioned to do it by the Belfast City Council, and a great privilege to meet the family as well, and to learn more about Rinty. Rinty Monahan was known not only as a fighter, but as an entertainer. And after each bout, and incidentally, he retired undefeated. And he loved to entertain, he loved to spread love, if you want. He was a great family man. And it's really to Belfast's credit that they've honoured the boxers of Belfast, because boxing is such an important part of Belfast culture. It brings people together.
I think the community owes a lot to boxing. You look at what it's done for both sides of the community, it's always bringing people together. And even as far back as Rinty's day, and the boxers are still continuing to do it today. So I think it's important to show a bit of recognition. Ireland as a whole, it's our most decorated Olympic sport. We're producing world champions in the professional business now too. So I think it's important for the community to come out and show a wee bit of gratitude for one of the greats.
Look up to our sporting heroes, and at the minute, I mean, we're on fire, even with the golfers. It's a wonderful time to live in Belfast and be proud of Belfast. It's got a lot to be proud of.
My generation coming up, we are learning a lot about him, but the older generation would have known Rinty Monaghan. They would have went and watched him in King's Hall and stuff like that there, and travelled over to Manchester in England and stuff like that to watch him. Well, you had to put Rinty Monaghan near the five top, like. I mean, there's a load of them we can name off here, but I would put Rinty Monaghan. A lot of his fights was coming on Facebook and all that there. I'd put Rinty Monaghan as one of the top. He was world champion of flyweight back in the day when it was hard to win a world title. You had Freddie Gilroy, John Caldwell, and all Emmons coming up in the 60s and maybe the 70s, and then the Boy McGregor in the 80s. But I think Rinty Monaghan stands the five top in my book.
It's great. It's great to see kind of one of Belfast heroes finally being recognised. I've often went back and watched some of his footage on YouTube. It was a different story, and he was a world champion when there only was one world champion, and boxing's full of alphabet titles these days. Sometimes you get confused with who actually is a world champion. In Rinty's day, you knew who it was, and he was a great fighter. It was a brutal sport then. It was tough. Things were a lot different, but it's great to see this, and a good turnout for him as well.
There's an iconic photograph of Rinty in this particular pose, and I think it says everything about the man. It just is the essence for me, and I think probably if you asked the family and anybody that knew Rinty, they would say that's Rinty Monahan. He was famed for doing what he did, which was sing after each bout. He would pick up the microphone and he would sing "When Irish Eyes Are Smiling."
So it's good luck to the new world's flyweight title holder, Rinty Monahan of Belfast.
We're down here in the City Hall, and the Rinty's belt has pride of place. And see this cabinet here. The last artefact that was in this cabinet, Shay, was the Titanic clock. You know the clock that was on the Titanic? That was the last artefact in this cabinet. And it says here, look, the Ring Magazine belt. The belt was presented to Belfast John Rinty Monahan in April 1948 by the American boxing magazine The Ring after becoming undisputed world flyweight champion. Isn't it lovely? What? Who did? Who was it? Who is it? Oh, it's Guy, right. It's Guy Spence. He's the deputy mayor. Yeah, I'm glad to put that up there. Yeah, that's it, yeah. The latest. Here's the place.
She's going to be doing all day.
Let's put People are just looking at it now. You know there was a statue unveiled yesterday? I saw it. Yeah. Do you know all about it? Okay. Cathedral Gardens.
Where's that?
Just off Donegal Street at the University of Ulster. If you ask directions, if you haven't seen it, where St Anne's is. Yeah, beautiful statue was unveiled yesterday. Yeah, a great victory for a working class hero to be immortalised in a bronze statue. There's all them statues out there, I haven't a clue who any. I have no connection with any of them. But Rinty was a working class hero. So to see one of our own being immortalised. And he was my uncle, so yeah. All right, nice to meet you. Just let us know about it, but just know, no problem. Bye bye. What's that? Of course, that was Guy Spence. Wasn't it? It was Guy Spence went up the. So here we are outside the City Hall. I'm just saying about all these statues here of people here with no connection with at all. Periods of the realm, lords, nobility. No connection with us working class people. And the Rinty Monahan statue yesterday was a great victory for the working class. Also for the boxing family and the Monahan family. You know, who are these people? Who are these people? It's a lovely day, and the irony is, this is the day after the statue of Rinty was unveiled, but it's actually Rinty's birthday today. If he'd lived, he would have been 86 today. So there's a great irony there. It's a lovely day in Belfast. Praise you, Jesus. Brilliant. There's real courage, yeah. Brilliant, Shay, look at that. I would pay for you to get guitar lessons anytime. But he had to learn the acoustic first.
Staying with sport, albeit a slightly different one.
A great cheer goes up in King's Hall as Rinty Monahan, the challenger, is first to appear. Not having had any trouble in making the weight, he's full of spirit and confidence, and he dances gaily into his corner. Vicious right hook to the jaw, now an uppercut, now a left and a right uppercut to the body. And Patterson gets set to go down with a right to the jaw. 8, 9, 10, and out. And there's a new world's flyweight title holder, Rinty Monahan of Belfast.
There you go, with a right to the draw. Clip there, Rinty Monahan becoming world champion back in 1948. He's one of our most famous boxers, and today he's being honoured with the unveiling of a statue of him in his hometown of Belfast. And we're joined in the studio by his great nephew, Eamon McAuley, no mean boxer himself. I was looking at your track record, 12 out of 13 professional wins, so you know all about it, Eamon.
Well, I was one of the ones in the family who took up the boxing. Most of the Monahan family took up the singing and entertaining. I was the daft one.
But anyway, you've become a great student of boxing and obviously very proud of Rinty Monahan, who is a sort of legendary figure. For those who don't know much about him, and we're going back to him becoming world champion in 1948, which is a long time ago now. Tell us a bit about the man.
Well, Rinty lived in a bygone age where the ordinary guy in the street could have named the 8 world champions in the respective weight divisions. When Joe Lewis and Sugar Ray Robinson, when legends held their belts, that's when Rinty held his belt. He was a household name.
It was the sort of high point of boxing fame in many respects, wasn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And over here in this part of the world, we had produced some very, very good wee men. People like Jimmy Warnock from the Shankill, Bunty Dorn from Sailortown, Rinty Monahan.
All hard men.
all hard men.
Yeah, and there's a statue going up today, and you're unveiling it, in fact, and it's been cast in bronze in Edinburgh, and I think you've had a sneak preview. Are you happy with it?
That's correct. Yes, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, and we want to thank the sculptor Alan Harriet Beattie and also Belfast City Council who have made this happen. And to see this come to fruition, this is a process we've been on this last 5 years. It's going to be a wonderful day.
Now, it's going to be in Belfast. Where is it going to be unveiled exactly?
Cathedral Gardens, just down the University of Ulster.
And when's this actually taking place then, Eamon?
11 o'clock this morning. So it's still time to appeal to people to come out and support one of our own, a working class hero.
Rinty, I learned only yesterday, is an interesting first name, isn't it? And it comes from Rintintin. What's the story?
Well, his granny was shouting after him one time in exasperation, and she couldn't get Rintintin out of her mouth quick enough. So it came out Rinty. And everybody laughed, and then the legend was born, Rinty Monahan.
After he gave up boxing and hung up his gloves, what did he do?
Well, he worked for NENSA. He worked with Thing Kelly, what did you call her, the singer, When We Meet Again?
So, I mean,
we'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when.
Oh, yeah.
No, we'll meet again.
Vera Lynn, and people like that. He entertained British troops, and he was all over the place.
Because he was
a lorry driver, he was a taxi driver, good billiards player, good poker player.
And he toured with Vera Lynn during the war previously.
That's correct, yes.
So, I mean, he was quite a legend in his time, wasn't he? Yeah.
Absolutely. He was a vibrant, colourful character. He was incredible. And I remember him coming up to Leganeel Boxing Club in 1981. I would have been 15 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And my uncle Sean McAuley run the gym, run the club, and we had a show on that night. And all he asked for was a packet of cigarettes. That was his wages. And during the interval, he jumped into the ring. And he done a song and dance act as Papa and Olive Oil and Prisons, as played the harmonica and brought the house down. The problem was getting him back out of the ring so as the fights could resume. That took some time.
Yeah, and I think he did a good turn when Irish Eyes Are Smiling, isn't that right?
That's beautiful. I've put a lot of stuff on YouTube of him, and there's one piece of footage in Barney Eastwood's gym in 1982 where him and the late world champion John Caldwell have their arms around each other and they're singing When Irish Eyes Are Smiling.
Now, you've got reams of poetry in with you, Eamon. What is this exactly?
I brought in a couple of poems. People had wrote one here from George McKinney, one down by the dockside by the Authors Unknown here, but...
read out one verse which takes your fancy there.
One verse. Well, there's one here that goes through his career, and at the end of it says, "The years may roll on, but time can't erase the memories you've left of the ring and the stage. On behalf of the fans who belonged to that age, many thanks for the memories, Rinty."
Well, here's to that, and a proud moment for you and the family today. I hope it all goes very well for you.
Thanks very much.
And thanks for coming in, Eamon.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So there's the mural completed. This is the next day, Friday the 7th of August, and he's put up quite a few new names. And the words there, it's all there in the words. Very good, Roy. Noel McGee, Eamon McGee, Aaron Corbett, Paddy Barnes. Ardine Bone Boxing Champions. Ardine Bone Boxers have punched well above their weight. As professionals, we have won British, Commonwealth, European and WBU titles. As amateurs, we have won the Olympic bronze, European gold, Commonwealth gold, World Junior silver, 17 Irish senior titles and an ABA senior title. Not forgetting all our boxing coaches who put in their time and effort for all our young boxers. Truly amazing for such a small area. And that's where we done the boxing show afterwards in the Shamrock Club in Ardoyne. Boxing Nostalgia Night, great talk about boxing, a lot of champions were there. Paddy McGuire and Davy Larmer, Noel McGee and Eamon McGee, Eamon McAuley, Tony McNulty. Who else? There was loads of them. Darren Corbett. Sorry if I've forgotten anybody. And that's where the other mural is of the boxers. Whatever's happening there, I don't know, but some of the bricks seems to be coming off. That's my Uncle Rinty there and Freddie Gilroy. And that's just up there, look where that one was, the film there a wee minute ago.